Folks, there's some really spicy stuff in this deck. All right, let's get into it. The Universal Primary Contest. You all know what that is? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm always sometimes taken to task on this. The DEC members received the June minutes in advance. Do we have any changes to the June minutes? Minutes approved. You're welcome. All right, so the Universal Primary Contest this is straight off the Supervisor of Elections website, votesjc.gov. We have an unprecedented opportunity this August with the county commissioner race. Okay, we did a great job of fielding candidates up and down the ballot, but the one race where we didn't have any candidates was the county commissioner race. So, what happens when there are no NPAs and no Democrats running? The race becomes a universal primary race, which means that everyone, regardless of your political affiliation, can vote in the county commissioner race. Next slide. Okay, so our ballot card was originally one page because we didn't know this. So on many of your seats, I had copies made of our ballot card. So page 1 are the Democrats that are being primaried in August. And want to note that we are able to publicly state that we endorse, the Democratic Party endorses the school board candidate and the City of St. Augustine commissioners candidate. They are Democrats. The races are nonpartisan, but we can endorse the Democrats in that race, and then you'll see there are all the other candidates that are being primaried. Now, page 2 are the nonpartisan races. So, as Democrats, we can never endorse a Republican. That's in the bylaws. But what we can do is profile the county commissioner candidates from public statements that they have made. And that's what's been done here. So there are 2 events from which this was derived. One is from the St. Johns County Chamber of Commerce event on June 25th. And the second is the St. Johns County Republican Assembly event on April 9th. So this is the candidates in their own words. So let me just say that again, that this is an unprecedented opportunity. There has not been a universal primary race in St. Johns County for 10 years. Everybody can vote in the county commissioner race, and it's at large. So there are 2 of the 5 seats that are open. You can vote in both of them. And we have the opportunity to not just influence this election, but change this election. So please let all your friends, your NPA friends, know about this. If you go to our website, the 2-page ballot card is on the home page, and you can download it. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for us. We hope it increases turnout. And, you gotta get it while you can. So, any questions on that? All right, next. So, with that in mind, the League of Women Voters is having a town hall. League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization. It's hosted and moderated by Rona D. Camillo, who's president of the League of Women Voters of Jacksonville First Coast. It is a ticketed event. It's free but ticketed. So you can click on that QR code and register. This event is at the Center for Spiritual Living. It's a large venue, but not quite as large as this. And if you can't get a ticket to it, it will be streamed live on a YouTube channel, which is at Concerned Citizens of SJC. So you can see the live stream there and also the archive stream. So, and all the candidates for county commissioner have been invited. Next slide. Okay, so vote by mail registrations, if you are a volunteer, and many of you are, you know how vote by mail is a key component of what we've been doing, because Democrats who register, who sign up for vote by mail in Florida, 95% of them vote. Whereas if you don't sign up for vote by mail and you're a Democrat, only 50% of the people vote. That is the key reason why we push this. So this is our report card. And we not only beat out the Republicans in raw numbers, but in percentages. So we're pretty psyched about this. And I think it bodes well for what can happen in August and happen in November. So give yourself a hand. Next slide. Are any street captains in the room? So I just want to call your attention to this portal. If you're not aware of it, it's a portal with all the resources and what you use. I also want to give a shout out to Karen Hall, who heads up the street captain program in this part of the county. You know, it's been a great program. It's a great grassroots program, and we will continue it into the future. Oh, thank you, Phil. Next slide. Oh, you know, I didn't mention Linktree. I meant to, this is a portal for everybody to use. Send it to your friends, send it to your MPAs. I mean, it's a aggregate of what we do, and also pages from votesjc.gov. So if somebody says, oh, what are the Democrats doing here? Send them this link. Okay? Next slide. Thank you. Oh, my deck's a little backwards here. Our current campaign budget that's been approved by the Democratic Executive Committee is $67,044. With that being said, we didn't know that we were looking at this county commissioner race. And we all, you know, we did a good job of budgeting, but we're coming to the Democratic Executive Committee requesting an additional $5,000 to get us over the finish line so we can win. Okay, and this really is for the ballot card for August, which is printed. All of our poll greeters that will be at the polls for early voting and election day will have the ballot card to hand out. They will wear this T-shirt that I have on. So we had to pay for that. We want to beef up our texting and email campaigns to all St. Johns County Democrats and left-leaning MPAs for both the August and November election. We want to do an interactive texting, get out the vote campaign for both elections. So I would like to ask the Democratic Executive Committee if they would approve an additional $5,000 for our campaign budget. Do I hear, I would, all the people, is there anybody who will not support that, that's on the Democratic Executive Committee? All in favor? All right. Thank you. From online, we got all eyes too. And I was told by our esteemed treasurer and deputy treasurer that our finances would cover it, but we always have to reach out to the DEC for approvals. You know, I show this slide in some variation, pretty much every steering committee, but we are on it. Several of us met with Vicki Oakes today, who's the supervisor of elections. She confirmed that vote-by-mail ballots went out yesterday. All right, so they ought to be showing up in your mailbox. The deadline for voter registration and party change is July 20th, and the vote-by-mail registration deadline is August 6th. Okay, early voting starts August 8th, and election day is August 18th. And we believe we have our voter protection team in place, but if you're interested in doing that, we've sent out numerous emails, or you can see Brian, Ruth, or myself after the meeting. Next slide. We have a vacancy for our state committee man. Greg McClellan, who's been a state committee man since before I showed up, is moving to Charlottesville, Virginia. So the responsibilities include participating in the state committee meeting, which happens to be this weekend, and the decision-making process. Engage with local party members, promote Democratic candidates. If you are interested, possibly interested in this committee, in this position, come see me, see Ruth, or Brian after the meeting. We have to balance by gender, so we have, it's just in the rules, we have 2 state committee women and 2 state committee men. So we have a position open there. Next slide. One of my pet projects is to have launched this TikTok channel. You know, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be many young people in this room. Young people, you know, Sherry being the exception. But, you know, we need to reach young people who are disengaged, who are not engaged, and it's not that funny. You know, they're just not engaged. They've checked out. So when I wrote that deck, this is our actual YouTube channel. Okay, how many followers do we have now? Can you read that? TikTok, what did I say? Oh, sorry. This is our TikTok channel. When I checked it this afternoon, we had 756 followers. And we've only had this for a month. I am hoping to get, you'll see that we have a lot of candidates providing us with TikToks, but I'm hoping to have videos, short videos from everyday people on this thing. So I've listed there the 2 people and their cell numbers. I was out yesterday at West King Wednesday, and I got videos from young people, 2 women that talked to me about reproductive rights. So we have, you know, a great videographer who's editing it. We have Julie and Brandon who are putting hashtags on it, but it's growing. And one of the reasons why I want to get to 1,000 followers is because Linktree will go live on our TikTok channel, and it'll get young people registered to vote. But, you know, we're getting traction there. Next slide. We have so much going on, so much going on. Tomorrow night we have a Good Trouble event honoring John Lewis at Fort Mose. I'm not going to go through all of these. I hope that all of you are subscribed to our newsletter, because that is where you find out about the events. And also, if you go to our website, stjohnsdemocrats.org, on the events tab, we have the events there, all the ones that are by St. Johns County Democratic Party. I was going to call Susan Horowitz on stage, who's one of our 2 VPs of the party here in St. Johns County, but unfortunately, she called me right before we started and said somebody sideswiped her car. I'm okay, but I don't think I'm going to make it here tonight. So I will muddle through this myself, or I may ask Susanna and Brian to join me on stage. Next slide. Next Tuesday, we have a town hall event that will be streamed on our YouTube channel, stjohnsdemocrats.org. So if you don't want to be there in person, if you haven't signed up, you can watch it live on that channel. And all of our events, including tonight's event, you can see the archived video. And we've had candidates speak at every DEC meeting since January. Susanna, do you want to talk about the event on tomorrow night?
Thank you, Michelle. So tomorrow night at Fort Mose off of US 1, we're going to have our 2nd annual John Lewis event. We had one last year. We'll do it again next year, and at Fort Mose again. And we have some really amazing speakers lined up. We have the historian David Nolan. Does anybody hear him before? Yeah, he's amazing. Civil rights activist, and also he really knows the history of St. Augustine in a way that people, and he just speaks so eloquently about it. We also have Gail Phillips. She works with the Lincolnville Museum, and she's an amazing historian, as well as a pastor that I am unfamiliar with, so we'll see how that goes. But please join us tomorrow night, 5:30 to 7:30 at Fort Mose, and it's free. And you can also go and look at the water, and you can go and explore the museum. So please join us. Thank you.
Lastly, one of the things that's going to be on the November ballot is the homestead plan. So, Brian, do you want to just speak about that? And I don't know where Roy is, but I need to get the second mic back from him.
The big thing to know about the homestead exemption is that it's going to defund local services quite significantly. Right now, property taxes in St. Johns County collect $383 million per year. By 2028, this is going to cut that by $113 million per year, which is 26%. There is no plan to make up that money. Nobody has planned for that at all, which means St. Johns County is going to be in the position of having to cut $113 million of their discretionary funding. So, I mean, at this point, with no plan in place to replace that revenue, for me, it's an absolute no.
Yeah, we're good. Yes.
I've done some research on this. I'm Jay Coles. I'm part of the Northwest Club here. Anyway, the schools, are they trying to say they're fencing off the school budget? They are. They're not touching the school tax. So that's official from the state?
That's official. Yeah, that's official. They're not touching the school tax. Well, police is part of that $383 million discretionary. That's police, fire, EMS, roads, drainage, exactly, everything.
That was when I was reading. I couldn't see. It seemed like the schools were.
They did. That was originally in one of the bills, but they carved it out. Yes.
The question was, are they thinking about it adding up the sales tax?
Yeah, and that's the problem. Nobody really knows what they're going to do, but there's constitutional limits on what they can do with the sales tax. I mean, you can only do like a 1 or 2% hike. I don't remember what it is. And then they have to go to the voters, and the last time they tried that, the voters said no. So, you know, if they vote down the property tax, I don't think they're going to, you know, say yes to a sales tax.
Okay, we'll be spending more time on this after the August election, a lot more time on this, because this will be in November. Right now, we're focused on winning in August and effecting change at the county commissioner level. Any questions? Next slide. I'd like to adjourn this meeting. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Second? All right, thank you all.